Yes?
Uh-huh.
Hmm? Corporal? What's next?
Just give the word.
Yes?
Tandai Tahar. Come to trade?
Just what you need. A fair offer.
Yes, Tahar? Want to take a look at the scriptures?
Wary traveler. Come again. May Tiara bless your path.
Yes, yes,
Let me take a look at your designs.
of course. Take all the time you need.
Farewell.
Yes, yes?
Let me take a look at your designs.
Of course. Take all the time you need.
Good choice.
Yes, yes?
Let me take a look at your designs.
Of course. Take all the time you need.
Might spark your interest. You know how to bargain, don't you?
Yes, yes?
Let me take a look at your designs.
Of course. Take all the time you need.
Pleasure doing business with you. Come again. I'm getting new wares by the next moon's turn.
What can I do for you today?
I want to equip the Wayfarer.
I had hoped as much. What do you need?
I'm sure I have just what you need. You know how to bargain, don't you?
Tahar, what is it?
I'll be off. Let's see.
Huh?
I want...
Music to my ears. What did you have in mind?
Will do. Got it. Understood.
Yes, Tahar. Looking for a skilled engineer?
Come take a look. I'm sure I've got something that might spark your interest. Good choice.
Yes, Tahar. Looking for a skilled engineer?
Come again. May Tiara bless your path.
Yes, yes, Sahar. Looking for a skilled engineer?
Everything for the wary traveler. Farewell.
Now would you look at that?
The best wares from Kalea to Northampton. A fair offer.
What do we need? Yes? Yes? Got it. Mm-hmm.
To this day, the Shaper's magical and technological prowess remains unrivaled. One thing is clear. None of their marvels would have been possible without—
Tahar, come over here for a second, will you? You need to see this.
Wait.
Yeah, Tahar. Wait. What's that?
I'm sorry?
That thing you've got there, that shard. Can I take a look at it for a second? Nihal's hammer. This is amazing. No, more than that.
I don't follow. What's so special about this thing?
This thing, as you call it, is part of an artifact. One that the scholars have been writing about for centuries. Blazes, Tahar. Sometimes I wonder why it's always you who— Look, if you find more of these, please bring them to me as fast as you can. It might be possible to reconstruct them, and that, I can't even begin.
Okay. If I find more pieces, I'll bring them to you.
You have to. Nihal's hammer, I still can't believe it.
found some materials. Could you use these to upgrade your armor?
Let me see. Oh, yeah, that could work. I'll start.
Great.
There we go. Thanks to her. Tahar, thank Nihal if you're awake. For a while, I wasn't sure you'd make it. How do you feel? Out on the battlefield, we didn't really get the chance to talk.
Could be worse.
Well, that's good to hear. It's a tragedy. The purity on the loose, with the power of the Archfire in the Harbinger's hands. Who could have seen that coming? For what it's worth, I'm sorry I had to go through this. I truly am.
I always had my doubts about Lacane. Only I didn't expect this to happen.
I figure.
Be that as it may, all that matters now is that we stop him. What about you, Iskrim? I doubt whatever bargain you struck with Lacane still stands. You're still here, so I guess you aren't planning on leaving.
Me? No, of course not. Where would I go, Tahar? There's no way of knowing what the Purity would do if they caught me. He wanted to kill you, so maybe Lacane doesn't want to leave any witness. Not to mention that we're still in the ancient Shaper city, full of marvels waiting to be discovered.
Well, I'm glad you're able to see it that way.
Frown hasn't dealt anyone yet, has it? There's, one more thing I wanted to ask you. It's about your mother. About Andra.
Ask.
I'm not sure how to say this, but she was a Shaper. A living Shaper.
What are you getting at?
All tragedy aside, you have to understand how fascinating this is. A shaper who survived through the eons. And as if that weren't enough, you even turn out to be related. I have so many questions, Tahar, so many questions. Iria said at the moment Andra and you melded, she made you see something. Fragments of her past. Now, I can't help but wonder, what was it? Did you see Mullandire in all its former glory?
I didn't see anything. It's more like I suddenly have that sense of...
But that's even more exciting. She must have transferred some of her memories onto you. I wonder if that's part of this melding ritual. Look, Tahar, I'm not sure how to say this, but how would you feel about it if I examine her? There's so much we could learn from her, even if her mind has left her body.
What do you mean by examine? We're not talking about a dissection, are we?
What? No, of course not.
Why? What are you hoping to gain from that?
You mean apart from being able to examine the body of a living shaper? There's much we could learn. Maybe we could even find something that helps us fight Lacane.
If you really think it helps, all right, do it.
You really just said that? By thee, Half, thank you. I'll talk to Undergast as soon as possible. His knowledge will be a great help. It'll be a while before we can start, but we'll do it as soon as possible. There you are! Tahar, I found something incredible.
What is it?
Remember how I asked you for permission to examine your mother's body? Undergast and I did that yesterday.
So? Were you able to learn anything?
We did, and this is what I'm so excited about. That jewel in the front part of her cranium. At first, we thought it was simply an ornament to mark her as a member of the priest caste, but it's more than that. It has magical properties.
What kind of magical properties?
It's somewhat similar to the Harbinger's rune. It's essentially a magical talisman that made them smarter and stronger. Long story short, despite her spirit being gone, the ornament still seems to be active. I think we could remove it.
And what for?
As I said, the jewel is magical. If you wear it, say, as a talisman, it could increase your magical powers significantly. It could really help us in our fight against Lacane.
Isn't that dangerous?
I'm close to certain it isn't. The ornaments are really just jewelry, like a ring, only woven into the flesh. I think we can remove it without causing your mother's body any harm. But then again, there's no way of knowing for sure.
Leave it there. If there's any chance of freeing my mother from Lacane, I want her shell as it was.
Of course. I understand. Well then, thank you nonetheless for giving me this chance. The more I learn about the Shapers, the more I realize how fascinating they truly are. More pieces. Let me take a look. Tahar, come over here for a second, will you? I finished your weapon. Either way, pleasure speaking with you. Hope this wasn't too grim for you, but then again, you asked for it. Give me some time.
Sure. Take care, Iskrim.
Will do.
Interesting.
You're back. I don't know how to say this, but
For what?
for not giving Myra to that man. I realized that she agreed, but we both know her mental state is questionable. I'm glad you saw that. Though, of course, I had hoped for a different outcome. I understand why you killed Ulfric, but now we lost both of the houses. This doesn't increase our odds against the Purity. I hope you realize that. Anyway, no point in delaying the inevitable any further. We should discuss the upcoming battle in the span. Are you ready?
I am.
Good. Then let's call your companions. Thank you for coming. I take it you know the purpose of this meeting. Our final battle is up ahead. We will take back Greyfell, kill Lakain, and save, well, Tahar's mother. You all know what's at stake. If we lose this battle, then there's no one left to stop Lakain. So, first of all, thanks to Ulrich Wolfgar and his betrayal, Lakain knows where Paranor.
Yes, Lakain has gathered his army in the span. That's
The Golden Road.
Yes. As you all know, almost every trade route of Northander leads through there. It's very easy for him to make a stand. The Queen's River draws a clear line between the Greykeep side and where we'll be coming in from.
So, what's your strategy?
I'm afraid there's only one. Brute force. We'll have to crush through his defense. However, we'll have to defend the other routes leading the span too. I'm certain the Purity will send in reinforcements through them to flank us. In other words, prepare for one heck of a battle. Once we've defeated their army, we'll advance to Greykeep. Questions?
Yes. How big is their army?
Massive. We already scouted the area. There's Bane, there's Deathmen, there's Templars, and Iron Ones.
In other words, Lakain knows we're a threat and gathered his entire force to stop us. Good. Because that'll be our chance to take out the entire Purity with one blow.
As I said, we cut off the snake's head.
Then prepare. Lakain won't show mercy, and neither will we. So I want every blade sharp. This is the only chance we're getting.
Well said, Tahar. Now get prepared. We'll head out at first light.
I had a feeling you'd come.
Why?
Because you just love to talk. But you know what? I appreciate it. I was never that big on sharing my thoughts, let alone my feelings.
And now?
Well, I still prefer deeds over words, but I've realized that sometimes it can help to share. So speak thank you. Without your help, I don't know if I could have done it. Unite the Fire Wielders. But thanks to you, I did. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you mainly did that.
Redefine the Orc culture.
No, return to it. Restore the great tribe. Live and cherish the struggle, without becoming the savage idiots like Krell turned us into. Anyway, enough of the chatter. Hone your blade, Tahar. We'll need it.
Let's see.
So, I guess that's it? The great...
So it seems.
Well, I should probably say something meaningful now, right? I can't think of anything. Heck, I don't even know why I'm coming with you. I should have left moons ago.
For what it's worth, I'm glad you didn't.
Easy, Tahar. We don't want to get all sentimental here, do we? Jokes aside, though, I realize this is a cheesy thing to say, but no matter how this ends, I'm glad our paths crossed. All those years on the road, I was free, yeah, but I also didn't have any root. Now, before you start crying, I'm not saying that this bloody city is what I consider home these days. I'm just saying it, I don't know, that it feels good to fight for something. And that surprises me. Anyway, enough of the chatter. Tell me when you're ready to head out. Corporal, need anything?
Goodbye. Now would you look at that?
Please, Myra.
To us.
I don't see why.
Because I need to know if you can do this. Look, Myra, what that rune did to you, it's horrible. But we need to know if you'll function out there.
I will.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yes, brother.
This is just wrong.
Still no change in her condition?
No. None. I still can't believe that dwarf considered keeping the rune. That kind of magic should not be allowed to exist. Either way, is there anything that needs discussing before we set out?
Interesting.
Yes? What is it?
I'll be off. I'll be leaving now.
All right.
What's next? Will do. Now would you look at that?
Tahar. You need something?
Not really. I was just wondering if you wanted to talk before we head out. My gut tells me this will be the last battle for a while.
Well, I've had my share of war and violences. I sure hope so. 9 years. Can you imagine? You want to know something funny?
What?
When I was a teenager, I always wanted to be an alchemist. You know, back in the days when there were charlatans everywhere, all of them looking for the Philosopher's Stone that could turn lead into gold. The idea of finding... Obviously, my plans didn't work out. My magical talent was discovered, I was sent to the university, and there I met your father. You know the rest of the story.
I do. But what are you getting at?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is that all through my life, I wanted to change something. Be that driving force behind something monumentous. Now, after all that's happened, I don't know. I've begun to wonder if that unguided the War of the Six Races, the Mage Wars, the Purity, it's all the same. We're just too driven, too obsessed with leaving our mark on this world.
Maybe we are driven, but idealism is important. Without it, who knows where the world would be?
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, I'm glad we're on the same side again. Maybe this final battle is a chance to, well, to make amends. Let me know when you're ready to head out, Tahar.
Let's see.
Yes? Is there something you need?
No, nothing. What are your thoughts on the upcoming battle?
If by what are my thoughts you mean my estimation on our chance for victory, I would say they are close to even, with the odds being slightly in favor of the Purity.
No, I meant, how do you feel? That battle, it will be dangerous, and yet you're still around to help us.
Well, it is only logical. The Purity hunts mages, and if we do not stop them, they will take my life too. As for my emotions, I suppose you could describe them as a mixture of worry and anticipation. Also, there is something else that has been troubling me.
What?
The return of Aenir, as the Purity calls it. The opening of the gates. I have done some research, and I'm beginning to believe that all this is not just superstition after all.
Wait, you mean Aenir is really trying to return to the...
Not Aenir. But I would prefer to not make any premature assumptions. Even if my theory is true, it would not impact our immediate plan of action. Now, I would like to make some preparations, Tahar. I will be ready when you need me.
Of course. Thanks, Undergast.
Yes? What is it?
Goodbye.
Shouldn't you be somewhere else?
I just wanted to see how you're holding up. What are your thoughts on the upcoming battle?
I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, Tahar. Emotional goodbyes? I think there's a big, nasty fight ahead of us, and there will be a lot of bloodshed. But we'll win this, I'm sure of that.
How so?
Well, take a look around. From next to nothing, you've put an army together. A messed up patchwork army, alright, but a force to be reckoned with. It's impressive. And to be honest, I didn't think you could do it.
Why?
I don't know. Just a feeling. Anyway, let's get back to it, shall we? We have a war to win. So, back on your feet again, aren't you? Do you think you can handle it? Leading the troops, I mean?
Yeah, I can't.
Good. At least all that explains why your aura has always felt so strange. You're not human. At least not entirely.
I guess I'm not.
Makes you more interesting, though. Either way, we'll find a way to get your mother back. What that fucking bastard did will not go unpunished.
So I guess that means you're staying.
Yeah, you guessed right. But at least for now. You're not the only one with an interest in seeing the purity of light have their fucking stakes shoved up their own asses. Now we should probably get back to planning. There's plenty of things we need to do if we want to get Greyfell back from that fanatic.
Right. See you around then.
He will. Huh?
Never mind. I'll be going.
Tahar, hello.
Getting prepared?
Yes.
It will be dangerous. You don't have to stay. You know that?
Oh, Tahar, you know, we never got the chance to talk much. But there's a reason I became an assassin. Blood, violence, death. It doesn't scare me. On the contrary. But I guess I would like some more time to myself before we set out. Just give the word whenever you're ready.
Interesting.
Yes, Corporal? How can I help?
Would you be willing to tell me more about your friend?
You seem to be quite adamant about this, aren't you? Fine, if you insist.
How close were you and her exactly?
That's hard to say. We had sex in all those 5 years. She never left my side. So some people might have considered us lovers, but I'm not sure we ever felt that way towards each other. You see, I don't feel emotions the same way other people do. And neither did Mila. The feelings the bards all sing about, I never had them. And I doubt this bond we had it because we were alike. Because she understood me and I understood her. Without saying a word. And I doubt I will ever have that feeling again.
When you say you were alike, what does that mean? That she also hardly felt emotion?
Yes. But whereas for me, it had been becoming a dreamweaver that had made me who I am. Mila had simply been born that way. There was no logical reason for her condition. It was...
I understand.
Maybe you do.
What was she like?
That's a difficult question to answer. Compared to me, I would describe her as... Of course, that conviviality was mostly a charade. Her interest in other people was genuine, but it was mainly because she wanted to study them. It was almost as if, until the very end, she believed that she could somehow overcome her nature. Of course, it didn't work.
Was she an assassin as well?
She was, yes.
How did she... I mean, how did it happen? The blood burn?
Well, I presume you are familiar with how the disease progresses, so there's no need to explain that part. As for when and where, we were with a small caravan near Everlight. We had made camp in a small forest when the symptoms first showed. An old man, one of the caravan leaders, started coughing blood. I think everybody saw, but they all acted as if they hadn't. From that point on, it went straight downhill. Almost 3/4 of the group were infected. And by the next day, a young boy had blood running from his eyes. Do you know what's strange?
What?
Up until that point, I didn't even consider the fact that Mila was infected as well. The thought just didn't ever cross my mind.
How did you find out?
A blister. On the 3rd morning after that night in the forest, she took a bath in a nearby river and I saw it. That was it. I knew what would happen. And so did she. I insisted on riding back to Everlight and looking for a healer. An irrational thing to do, and I knew it. But I figured that a chance was better than none. But she wouldn't have it. I want to tell life when it's over, not the other way around. That's what she had always told me. And that night...
She took her own life.
Yes. When I returned to the camp that night, I found a letter where she told me to meet her at a nearby clearing. I did, and found her laying on the grass, hands crossed behind her head, as if she was watching the moon. There was an empty bottle next to her, and I immediately recognized it. It was the merciful slumber. the most painless of poisons at our disposal. When you drink it, it's almost like falling asleep, very slowly. She was smiling when she faded away. How should I feel? It was her decision, and it was the most rational choice to make. Dying of the blood burn is incredibly painful, and her last memories were ones of peace.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Anyway, is there anything else? I wanted to ask.
Goodbye. Yes. Understood. Got it. Yes?
To this day, the Shaper's magical and technological prowess remains unrivaled. One thing is clear. None of their marvels would have been possible without an...
Iskra?
What? Oh, Tahar. Didn't see you coming.
This place still has you in its grips, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Look, Tahar, I'm sorry for what happened at the forge. You know, with the rune. I didn't know what got into me. I mean, I still believe the rune has the potential to do a lot of good, and I will continue researching, but I shouldn't have, well, risked our cause.
It's okay.
Glad to hear that. Anyway, I need to get some of these dents out of my armor. I'll be there when you need me. Either way, pleasure speaking with you. Hope this wasn't too grim for you, but then again, you asked for it. Give me some time now, will you?
Sure. Take care, Iskrim. Got it. What do we need?
Get ready!
You picked the wrong enemies.
As you ride down the Golden Road, you cannot help but notice the irony of the situation. As the juncture of all trading roads of Northander, the Golden Road used to symbolize the harmony between the people of Fiara, be they elves, dwarves, orcs, or humans. Now the road is soaked in blood, its ditches filled with corpses. We are all equal in death.
All right. Seems that the Purity has already taken full control of the other side of the river, which makes our task quite simple. We need to break through their defenses and take out the camp.
Yes?
We're being attacked! The outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.